Lately, I've been noticing a trend with my friends and colleagues who've been in their careers probably 15, 20 plus years. These are people in their 40s and 50s. They've had some success, they raised a family, and now they're feeling kind of empty. They're wondering, why isn't life as enjoyable as I thought it would be? What am I missing? What is this hole? That's what I'm going to talk about in this episode is you do reach this point in your life and you can't settle for less. I'm Larry Cornett, and this is Invincible Life. So I've anonymized the details of this conversation, but what I'm going to share is a comment that was from a recent conversation with an acquaintance. They said, I did everything I was supposed to do, but lately I feel empty inside. Nothing makes me happy. So this person, and I've known them for a while, they had followed all the right rules. They had done all the right things. They got their college degree. They had a great job, worked hard, moved up the ladder, They were married, raised a family. But now they've reached a point in their life that they feel like something's missing. It feels like this hole inside that they can never quite fill, no matter how many wonderful vacations they take, no matter how many nice things they buy, and they've purchased some nice things, nice homes, lovely cars, a lot of luxury stuff in their life. And they've been successful. They've moved up the ladder at work, but there's this hole they could never quite fill. And I know they're not alone. I talk with a lot of people. Sometimes there'll be public comments on LinkedIn post or Substack or wherever I'm sharing stuff. But then there's a lot of private messages, a lot of phone calls that I have with people that I feel like have been really successful. And from the outside, from what I can see on social media, they seem really happy. They seem like they have it all. But then we have a conversation and they're like, something's missing. I'm not happy. What's wrong? What is going wrong? I did everything I was supposed to do. And so I have a question for you. If you're one of these people that have been following the rules your entire life, doing what you're supposed to do, how has that worked out for you? Are you enjoying your career? Do you like your job? Do you feel successful? Are you happy to get up in the morning and go to work on a Monday morning? Are you happy with your most important relationships? And that could be close family members, friends, a loved one, a romantic partner. Are you happy with those relationships, how they're going? And are you where you want to be with your physical health, with your fitness and physical health, your emotional well-being, your mental well-being? Do you feel pretty good about that? Are you happy with that? Most of us spend decades of our lives chasing career goals, chasing those promotions, trying to get ahead at work. The traditional definitions of success, the house, the car, the money, the nice things, and we follow all the rules. That's most of us. But one day we wake up and we ask ourselves, is this all there is? What if this is as good as it gets? Much like my friend, I'd say that many of us aren't thrilled with where our lives have ended up. So asking that question, is this all there is? That's the beginning of pursuing what I call an invincible life. That's why I've named my podcast that, my newsletter, Speaking of, if you go to newsletter.invinciblelife.me, this is issue 152. Life is too short to settle for less. I think pursuing an invincible life that first step begins when you stop waiting to live the life you want. A lot of us do. I think I shared a quote on this recently that I think the biggest risk in life is delaying the things you want in life, believing at some point you're going to have the success and the money to buy back the freedom later to do it. And the problem with that is that's not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed a long life. You're not guaranteed enough money and success to buy the life that you want. And sometimes when you wait that long, the opportunity is gone. The thing you wanted to do is no longer possible, or you're just physically not capable of doing it anymore. So I want to tell you that now is your time to step back and redefine success, redefine what happiness means, and create the freedom you need to live life on your own terms. Don't wait. Don't hope. Don't delay. Start working on it now. And that's why I do the kind of coaching I do. I call myself an empowerment coach. I don't think the word life coach quite fits it. I do a lot of career coaching. I do business coaching. I like the idea of helping to empower you to live more authentically, to live boldly, to live intentionally by creating lives that are filled with freedom, time freedom, and the ability to pursue what you want, the vitality you need, the physical health and energy you need, a sense of purpose, and meaningful connections. We need human relationships. We need friends. We need family members. We need lovers. We need that connection. Life is better when you take a 360-degree view of your life and focus on all aspects of it. Not just the career part, not just the money part, not just, the taking the vacations and wow, that's going to be where I live my life. It is everything. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. I have a way of assessing this, which I think is important. So in my coaching and in the new community that I've formed, my Invincible Life community, we are sharing weekly advice and tips and coaching prompts that really help you build the life you're always meant to live. They encourage you to think deeply. They push you to get more out of your life. They hold you accountable. And as a community of people who care about these things and want these things, we will rise together. We will be stronger. We will become wiser, and we will be free. We will be free to live the life that we want. So I mentioned the community, and it's really for people who want more out of life. If you're happy with where you are, love your job, love your life, love your family, everything's perfect, then great. That's fantastic. You're banging on all cylinders. You got everything you want. Everything's amazing in your life. But sometimes people want more out of life. And I know this because I talk to these people. I know this because I was one of these people who made a big shift in my life back in 2009, big change in 2010, and just said, I'm not going to settle for this anymore. So I'm working together a community of kind people and ambitious people who refuse to settle for less. These are people who've done all the hard work. They've earned their life experience the hard way. And now they find themselves with that hole, with this need for more. And it could be more personal growth. They want to become a bigger and better person, not just somebody who's climbing the career ladder, but in the full sense of that word, personal growth. They want empowerment. They want to feel like they are in control and making decisions, which is a huge thing. That empowerment is a huge thing for your confidence and the ability to do what you want to do in life. Connection, that sense of connection with other people, meaningful connection, right? You want meaning in your life. You want more meaning. You want purpose. I just recently met with someone who's struggling a bit to get out of bed in the morning because they said, I don't know what my purpose is anymore. I don't really have a reason to get out of bed in the morning. And it's hard. It's hard because I just don't know what I'm going to do with my time. I don't know what I'm going to do with my days. That sense of purpose is more important than you think. I know people kind of joke about it. When people talk about retirement, they're like, hey, my purpose will be to be on the beach and drink margaritas and have fun. That grows old fast. So I think there are people who want more, people who want that purpose, people who want better health. Who doesn't want better health? I think most of us could improve something in our health, our physical, emotional, and mental health. And then finally, joy. We need joy in our lives. Why does life have to be bleak and scary? It is a rough time right now in the world. It is a rough time, especially in America. There are a lot of people who are pretty upset about a lot of things and not feeling very hopeful and not experiencing joy. And that's important. It's important for everyone and everything. You even see animals pursuing joy and having joy. You play with a puppy, you're going to see a creature that loves joy. We need it too. We need it too. And pursuing all these things, going after it. This path isn't easy. It's not always easy. If it was, we'd already be there. We'd already have it all. Making a change is never easy. Changing your life, making some things a priority and giving up some things so you can have what you really want. It's not easy. But the good thing is you don't have to do it alone. It's really hard to do it alone. I was recently just watching a show where people, you've probably seen some of these shows, they try to survive in the wild all by themselves. And they can get the mechanics of it down. Some people are very good at building shelters and finding food and staying warm and surviving. But the funny thing is, almost every person breaks down at some point because they are alone. They miss human conversation. They want to be hugged. They want to talk with someone, share the experience with someone, have that sense of community and bonding, that connection. We need it. We're social animals. I am a huge introvert. I talk about that a lot. I enjoy my alone time, but I still need connection and time with people that matter the most to me. I don't have a huge friend circle. There are a very small number of people that I interact with on a personal level. I talk with a lot of people professionally, but on a very personal level. My close family is near and dear to my heart. We spend a lot of time together, and I need them. I need that connection. And not everyone has that. Not everyone has that connection at all. Sometimes they don't have people in their lives like that. Sometimes they do have people in their lives, but they're not very supportive of the change they're trying to make in themselves, that personal development, trying to walk a different path. You will find that you will lose some friends or they just won't get it. And that's lonely. So I think it's important that we work together. And by we, I mean, I'm here for you. The community I'm building is here for you. If it's something you might be interested in, so that we support each other in reclaiming our health, deepening our relationships with friends and loved ones, redefining what success is, breaking free of the societal and cultural constraints that we've been given that tell us what we should think success is. And then we wonder why we feel empty when we get it. So we want to redefine what that really means. Finding happiness, so important, and creating the freedom you need to live life on your own terms. And that freedom comes with having optionality, having the power to say no to some things and to pursue other things, having the time freedom to live life on your terms. I talk a lot about this. When I built my own business and left the corporate world in 2010, I own my days and I own my calendar. And so I have time freedom to live life on my terms, which gives me more of what I need in life. Time with family, time to pursue my health and wellness. I am very serious about my fitness. Time to build my businesses, time to connect with people that lift me up, that make me feel good versus people that bring me down. That time freedom is so important. And each step forward that you take, it's a building block. Each transformation you make, every lesson you learn, no matter how small it is, strengthens you and it strengthens us all. That's the point of community, is we learn from each other, we share with each other, we help each other. People working together can accomplish so much. And there are so many people that could help you with your journey and support you and guide you. And it's more than a community. I am thinking of this as a movement. I am tired of what this world has become. I'm tired of what's happening in America. We've been sold this vision that is no longer coming true. And I think we need to recapture our future. We need to define our own vision, our own purpose, and create this movement. A movement to rise up and be stronger, be wiser, and freer than ever before. Together we will escape this trap of how others have told us to work and live. We must demand the life we choose to define. Stop living a life that someone else told you to live. When you feel empty, it's often because you are chasing someone else's dream. You are doing what someone else told you to do. You're not listening to that voice inside you that wants to define your life, your future. And as I mentioned, I focus on holistic empowerment coaching. I don't want to just address one or two areas of someone's life. I am a psychologist. I have a PhD in psychology. I am a coach. I've been coaching for almost 10 years now, and I coached for longer when I was a corporate leader, coaching my team. As a psychologist and coach, I am committed to helping people address the deeper underlying issues that prevent them from enjoying the benefits of a lasting change that can enhance your life and your career. And that includes building greater self-confidence, reclaiming your power, so important. Knowing what you really want in life, not what you've been told to want. Recognizing the best environments for you. And that can be a work environment, that can be your personal life environment where you live. Achieving your most important goals. Improving personal relationships. I think we all probably have to do some work there. Becoming happier, healthier, more fulfilled. I talk about that a lot. And just feeling more capable and happy with your success and feeling empowered for life. Not just for a few minutes or a week or two. Empowered for life. Making that shift that changes your life forever. Building a more empowered life, it doesn't happen overnight. This isn't a rapid change that's going to be flipping a switch in a day or two or a week or even a month. It's a journey with twists and turns that it's never ending. As your life is, it's always changing, right? Your life is always changing. And the world is constantly presenting new challenges. You can't predict it. You can't control it. And that's why it is so helpful to take this journey with a coach or with other people like my community who understand you. They are doing it too. They're on this journey too. They get it. They will support you. They will guide you. They will give you feedback. They will encourage you and hold you accountable along the way for the things that you're trying to achieve. So I'm looking at structuring the way I'm providing this type of coaching, and this is in the community primarily, but I also do this when I write and share things on the newsletter and talk about stuff in this podcast. But talking about some really core themes that I think are pretty important, and that includes things like your goals and plans, and that isn't just your professional goals and plans, but your life goals, plans you're trying to make for the near term, mid-term, long term, your career fulfillment, because most of us still have to work. It's like we didn't win the lottery. We haven't inherited billions. We have to work, but there's no reason we can't feel happy and fulfilled in our jobs. A sense of financial security, having enough. You've probably heard me talk about this many times. I'm not a believer in pursuing wealth for the sake of wealth. I think that's a trap. I think there are a lot of really wealthy people that are very unhappy, but I think you need enough. You need enough money to feel secure, to feel safe. Physical health, big theme. I'm going to talk a lot about that because I think it powers a lot of things. It powers your confidence. It powers your energy. It powers your creativity and productivity. I found that, and I made a huge change, starting in 2009 in my physical health and wellness, and it has changed pretty much everything in my life, professionally and personally. Themes of accountability, which is important. So accountability within a community like the one I'm building, or even with peers or a friend who can help you stay on track and make sure that you're moving forward and not letting things drop so that you give up on your dreams. Lifestyle freedom, which I think is super important. And that's time freedom, and it's geophysical freedom, being able to live where you want to live, spend time with the people you want to spend time with. Freedom's pretty important. Big theme that I like to talk about. Personal development, so continuing to grow as an individual and get better at what you do and who you are and how you interact in the world. Self-confidence, man, I talk about confidence so much because I think it's incredibly powerful, and I think a lot of stuff is based on confidence. And I talked about that with my other community even yesterday, how becoming better at public speaking boosts confidence, where you no longer feel nervous getting up in front of people or presenting at a conference, interviewing for a job, you name it. Relationships, that's something I've been talking about with my beta testers in the community this month, actually. We've been talking about all kinds of relationships, and that's friendships, family members, it's loved ones, it's lovers, that stuff's important. And that's coming next month in a little more detail, but intimacy. I mean, we cannot pretend that we aren't physical creatures who need intimacy in our lives, and whatever that means for you. We've shown that people don't do well when they don't have it. That's why solitary confinement is such a punishment for people. They need that intimacy. They need connection with other people. Emotional well-being, super important. That's going to be another thing that we talk about. And then kind of wrapping things up at the end of the year, overall life satisfaction. So taking everything into consideration. Overall, how is life going? How do you feel about it? I would love to get feedback from people. That's why I'm having the beta testers in the community. I want to hear if these themes are resonating, if there's something that's confusing, or they're not quite sure what it means, or if there's something missing. Like, hey, aren't we going to talk about this? And I'd like to hear that. If you have ideas, I'd like to hear that. You can go to newsletter.invinciblelife.me. This is issue 152. Life is too short to settle for less. And you can leave a comment and let me know if there's a theme that you think should be on this list, because I'll probably be talking about this a lot in this podcast. These are kind of recurring, important life themes if you want to live an invincible life, a more meaningful life. One of the things that I ask people to do first, because you kind of need to do this to know where you are, is to assess their feelings about these key dimensions of their life and that overall well-being, that overall life satisfaction. So answering the questions that I have in this, it's a survey form about these various factors, creates a visualization. If you've seen a radar chart, that's what it generates. And if you go to the newsletter, you'll be able to see I have a screenshot of one of those radar charts. And it is a really nice visual that quickly tells you, where am I strong and where am I weak? Where do I have areas that I need to work on, that I need improvement? Maybe most things are going well, but I'm not feeling so good about my job, and I'm not feeling so good about my emotional well-being. I'm kind of stressed. I'm feeling a little depressed. I got to work on that. I got to figure out how to invest in those areas to feel better there. So every week in the community, I share a prompt, a coaching prompt that has some questions related to the current month's theme. So trying to dive deeper into that theme, get people to talk about it, get them to answer the questions. And then I share tips and thoughts related to that throughout the week. It's like, hey, here's a way to reconnect with people and build relationships with people that maybe have gone stale, so here's a tip on how you could do that. So the goal of that is really just to foster some discussions within the community, get people talking, get them sharing. We have a lot to learn from each other, right? And it allows us to offer to one another this guidance about things that worked for us or things we've read, some research we discovered, to give people feedback on a course of action. They're like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm having a rough time discussing some issues with my father. What do you guys think? I was going to approach it this way. Give each other encouragement. We need that, and support. It's hard. This journey is not easy. It gets emotional. People get worried. They get down. And so people need support. They need to know that there are people in this community and myself that care, and we want to help. Because it is rare to have that. It's rare to find that. And that's the idea. And sometimes this type of group setting, this community, it's precisely what someone desires. They like that and they need it to overcome issues they're facing, to benefit from that accountability, right? So people saying, hey, did you work out today? Share a photo of your workout so we can continue to keep each other going. We know we all want to do this. Helping you achieve your life goals. That's exactly what you need, right? The community. There are times, and I know this because I hear this, people will message me privately, that they say, this is great, I like it, but I need some more intensive one-on-one coaching. Or I'm dealing with a personal issue that I just don't feel comfortable sharing in the group. It's super personal. It's hard enough for them to talk with me about it, but at least they're not sharing it with, 100 people or whatever. So that's why I also offer confidential coaching. So the way I've structured that is, if someone wants to sign up for that private confidential coaching, I create a private channel in the community. And it's just the two of us. So we can talk, they can ask questions, I can give them feedback or whatever it might be. And then when they sign up for private coaching, then we also have live calls every month. So I tend to use Zoom for that. But that really can help. So sometimes the group is fun and it's useful and it's exactly what you need. Sometimes you need to talk to someone one-on-one, for various reasons. And the way I work through that, one of the things I already mentioned, number one, I kind of start with an assessment, like how are things going? What's not working well? What's working well? Where do we think we need to focus? So we know what we're trying to do versus boiling the ocean. Providing guidance, I do that. So there can be cases that I kind of guide people and I say, here are 2 or 3 different paths you could take, or here's a way to think about this, an exercise that can help you think through this issue. Providing advice, of course, so I can say, given what I'm hearing from you, of these different paths, this one might be the best one for you, so let's try that. Let's try this path. giving feedback, things that you're trying to do, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, and you've chosen a course of action, giving you feedback on what you're doing, providing that support again. So somebody who's supporting you through this, and the accountability. That's the nice thing about the one-on-one coaching and the meetings is people know they're going to talk with me, and they're like, I better keep working on my goals so I don't have to come to the meeting and say, oops, I haven't done anything for the past week or two. So when I work with people one-on-one like this, I guide them through a step-by-step process. You don't want to try to do it all at once or boil the ocean, as I mentioned. Step-by-step, we're identifying issues, we're setting goals. We're going to create a plan to achieve that goal, and then we're going to work through it together. Create a roadmap for that, timeline for that, giving you feedback, making sure you're staying on track, and help you achieve those goals that matter most to you, whatever it might be. So we communicate through the private Discord channel. So there are text chats that can be done in there, documents that can be shared, you name it, scheduling live calls, whatever it is. And the nice thing about that level of coaching, so if someone wants the one-on-one coaching, is that they get the benefits of both. They get the best of both worlds. They can work directly with me, but they also get the support from the larger community, which is wonderful because, hey, I'm not always available, or maybe I haven't dealt with that specific issue before, and it's a tricky issue, but someone in the community has. So it's a way to get help from more people than just me. I included links. If you go to newsletter.invinciblelife.me and you find this newsletter, issue 152, I have links to the community so you can take a look at what options are available and what that's like. Of course, you can always schedule a complimentary call with me. I offer free calls, free initial call. I think it's a 30-minute call. So I have a link for that too. But anyway, this is kind of a long-winded way for me to say I don't think you should settle for less in your life. And I think you can't wait too long to do something about it. So check out the community, check out what I can do for you. But if nothing else, you focus on doing this for you. It's really important. I want you to get what you want out of life. Until next time, I wish you the best of luck with pursuing the life of your dreams so you can be happier, healthier, and more fulfilled.